What's up? What's up? Should I close this a little bit? Maybe that'll make the light more consistent. What's good? Oh, wait. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Shout out to you, Mira. Is it Mira or Myra? Oh, let me turn it down. Shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in. Bam. Bam. Before we get into that, though, I just got to say this month, I know it's only the second. I know it's only the second, but that's okay. Gratitude for the present. This month is already amazing. This month is already amazing. The energy that's just flowing my way is it matches the frequency that I'm on. And I feel it. I feel it. It's so dope. So I'm gonna start with today and work myself backwards to yesterday. So hey, so Nunez. So today I was sitting in here with my door open, like I do, crocheting, and I was listening to an audiobook, like I do, and this older white guy walks past and he stops immediately. Was like, what did he say? I admire, what you're doing, how you're living, and your plants. He said something, and it just started. It was the beginning of, I don't know, maybe a 45-minute conversation, but it was so dope. He's he's got hella money, but he's not from money. But he ended up marrying a woman that comes from a really wealthy family, and his father-in-law helped him launch this idea that he had, and he ended up divorcing her, but still his father-in-law, he said he's a beautiful man, was on his side. So he, has got businesses and different things like that. But here's something about me that y'all don't know. When I was in Arizona, I was this close. I knew the moment the opportunity was gone for me. I knew the instant. I was this close to getting into real estate and being a real estate agent. So it was an older black couple that had their own real estate, I don't know what the proper word is, agency, firm, whatever. And I went for an interview. Now, this was after Hotel Honda was stolen. And this was after, because I was sick for about a year. And during that time, I was not in Hotel Honda, and Hotel Honda got stolen. So I was renting a room. No, by this time, I was in a co living Airbnb. So it was a co living house. So I had to take the bus, and then there was a point where I had to walk. And this was in Arizona, right? I love the Arizona heat. But at one point, the shoes I had on, the heels I had on, were not made for walking. So I'm walking barefoot. Like it was a. I'm gonna get there. Like I'm determined to go through this and have this interview. And she was right there about to hire me, and I knew the moment. I don't remember what I said. It wasn't anything negative, but it was just something in her switch. And at the moment when it switched, I knew there's that's she's not gonna hire me. But from that, I don't know. I think I just felt like I don't really know how to. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But before that, I was watching a lot of Grant Cardone, and I just grew to be very, very, very heavily interested in being a real estate agent. Um, because before that, like even now, my ultimate admiration is to be a real estate investor. So bring it back to this moment right now. And this week, all this week, and even a few months ago, I was talking to one of my girlfriends, um, who was a hair client of mine that I know from Minnesota. Anyway, I was talking to one of my girls, Franique, about being a real estate agent. And I was like, if you do it, I'll do it. So anyway, this week I've been heavily, there's a guy that I follow. He also just subscribed to me. He does hip hop content, but I looked through his page a few months ago, and he's a young dude. He's a real estate agent, so I was watching all his real estate content. So yesterday I was watching all of that. And so this has really been coming up out of me this week recently. So here he comes, and it was a lovely conversation. So then he says, out of nowhere, none of the conversation was about real estate. Even his venture, he wanted to create a dog, a dog training company for kids that are blind or something like that. Nowhere had we been talking about real estate. So he says, you're probably not interested, but you would do well in real estate. He said, don't go for the 300,000, go for the million. And then he started saying things that are very familiar that most people that just gravitate to me say. You're very approachable. You're very easy to talk to. And he was like, you're beautiful, and that comes from what's within, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, when he said, you probably aren't interested in this, you're probably like, I don't want to do that. But when he brought up the real estate, my mouth dropped. Do you hear me? I was like, no, that actually is something that I'm interested in. And I was just, I don't know. It probably sounds crazy to you guys. Like I said, this is something about me that y'all don't know, but this is not just a fly by night thing. This is something that even being here in California that I've thought about. I never thought about like trying to get my real estate license here in California, but it's never left me. And so when he said it, I'm like, so he said he's been a real estate agent for 38 years. He's got multiple businesses, multiple houses, all this and that. Like he's not hurting for money at all. But it just got me thinking, it just got me thinking, like, look, I see you, God. I see you, and I feel you. I feel you. Hey, Crystal. Hey, black man. What's good? Hey, Flabba Jabba. When a man sells his daughter as oh Lord. So, um, yeah. So I asked him, um, what what do you think my first step should be? What is no, not what do you think my first step should be? I said, so what is the first move? And so he said, get your license. You can do it online, blah blah blah, 3 to 6 months. So immediately I went to, because I take action at the speed of direction. So I went online, I looked, I went on YouTube, even put in real estate, getting your real estate license in California or something like that. So I'm going to look into that. I'm going to put some serious thought into that. And I don't I don't see what the problem with that would be. Because and like I told him, I said I've studied since 2017. I've studied a lot since, not like getting a real estate license, but being a real estate agent, from real estate agents. Um, hearing them talk about where they went wrong and what they would do differently, things like that. And the thing about me is I learn well from others. And when it comes to, for example, when I was in cosmetology school, I don't know what it was about cutting men's hair before I even graduated. but this was when I was on the floor working on real clients, real people. I would be so nervous to cut men's hair. I never butchered anybody. And even my instructor was like, "Why are you nervous? You know what you're doing." So when I graduated, I went to, I think, Fantastic Sam's and filled out an application. And it took me like an hour and a half. I was working a temp job, and one of my coworkers was my model. I needed to bring in a model for my test. This was at Fantastic Sam's after I was licensed. And it was a Saturday. He brought his sons with him. I was like an hour and a half. And the manager was going to hire me. She left it up to me because of my confidence and her belief in me. But I said no, no, I don't, so I turned it down. But what I did, I went on YouTube and was watching barbers. Every day for hours, I was watching barbers. I was watching what they did. Now, I hadn't picked up from that moment for a year and a half. 18 months later, I had not picked up my clippers to cut a man's hair. I worked somewhere else. And so watching barbers for a year and a half, I was like, okay, I think I got it now. I went again to another salon, confident, like I felt, even the way I held the clippers and the way I did my thing. And that was my first time. I ended up getting that job. That was at a different Fantastic Sam's further out in the suburbs in Bloomington, as a matter of fact. So I ended up getting that job. And when I got it, even the guys, I, the manager, it was her dad. I cut her dad's hair, right? So the manager and the dad, they loved it. They complimented me. They loved it. And so once I got hired, I told the manager, I said, this was my first time picking up clippers to cut a man's hair in a year and a half. I've just been watching, studying on YouTube from barbers, right? So not like cosmetologists. I was watching barbers. I ended up being dope going to a high end men's salon where they did all the cuts by hand. They didn't use clippers. It was either scissor over comb or clipper over comb. So that's where I ended. So anyway, I'm saying that to say, since 2017, like I spent a couple of years watching from real estate agents, hearing them share their information on when they first became an agent and seeing where they are now and this, that, and the third. So I picked up their gems. And that to me, this, especially that coming out of nowhere, we weren't even talking about real estate. And for him to just say that, not knowing, because like I said, he prefaced it by saying, you're probably going to say, I'm not interested in that. No, I am. I am interested in that. I, I, I absolutely am. And I've been for quite a while. Y'all, that is crazy. Hey, Fernando. That's right. That's right. Amen. That's right. That's so that was today. That was the energy today. That was the energy today. And he blessed me with a little bit of cash. He was like, this is just to help get the day moving. So I'm so grateful. Like when he said that, I'm like, okay, God, okay, okay. I'm not gonna ignore this because why this week has that been so in the forefront of my mind? So that was today. Okay. So last night, now, if you're familiar with my channel, if you're a viewer or a subscriber, then you know that I spend a lot of time here at this library. And there's a black dude that he's here a lot. He's not here all the time. He's here frequently enough, and sometimes he has longer spurts of being here than others because there's another library that he'll go to. So Caroline, if anybody was on the live, I think last week that came up that I was talking to, Caroline told me about that after I got my upgrade, the upgraded build, and she was looking around in here like, oh my god, it's so homey, blah blah blah. She was telling me about this guy that I'm telling you about, the black dude. So she was like, "You got to talk to him." And I said, "Whenever you see him," I said, "Yeah, tell him, no problem. Come over here. I don't mind. I love showing my space off. No problem at all." So last night was the night. She told me, and I was like, "Yeah, cool. Bring him over." I was cooking at the time. So he comes over, and we have a great conversation. He's Nigerian, and y'all don't know this, but Nigerians are my favorite. So he's Nigerian, and we had a great conversation about a lot of different things. So then we started talking about my crochet because I was crocheting. I was working on this actually, and the he gave me some inspiring words that came by way of his mother. He said his mother has a business, and he was like, I ended up showing him my work because most people when they think of crochet, they think of like what he said, um, really spacey, more summer things, cover ups, and different things like that. So I showed him my two jackets, and he was like, "Oh, damn, those are nice." He said, "I'm not just saying that because you're here, but those are nice." And so I was telling him that I'm not going to negotiate on the price. And he said, "Good." And he said something that I say like in my Discord and on my Instagram: don't navigate from a place of desperation. You are always going to make the wrong move and the wrong decision when you navigate out of desperation. So he said that, and he was saying this is something his mother said. And I said, I get you. And once I expressed that I understand, and that's something that I say, he was like, "Okay, good," because I didn't want you to take it the wrong way. And so he said with his mom's business, at one point, wool, I think he said wool was like $100, whatever the measurement. And he said if something happened and it just became scarce, so she was able to sell her product. She held on to it and was able to sell it instead of 100 for 700, whatever it was, right? But these are the numbers that he pulled out. He said, "So yeah, just hold on to it." He said, "You're doing right. Just hold on to it because the person is out there." He also encouraged, which is something I was thinking about yesterday. He encouraged for me to put it on Etsy. So he said there are people on Etsy, that are looking. Somebody's gonna know the quality and the value and are going to be willing to pay for that. And I said, that's what I believe. That's what I believe. I have no interest in lowballing or decreasing the value of it and the value that I put into it by being desperate. I don't move out of desperation at all. And so that was just, it was a bit more in depth than what I'm saying, but it was just so dope. So just having these two back-to-back days in the beginning of August, and what are we in the whole Leo sphere? I don't know, but I feel God moving, and I feel the frequency that I'm on even before now, and it's just like, okay, I have to what I'm feeling is that these messages that have come across, I need to take massive action. The guy today, he asked me, what do I feel like I'm missing? Or what do I feel, yeah, like I'm missing? I think that's what he said. And I said, I feel as though, although I am confident, I feel as though because I'm very shy and very, very introverted, I'm talking about it's gotten better over the years, especially me being so high up and big in age and in my 40s, almost 50. But I'm so shy and introverted. I will be frozen. I will be frozen. It's just, so I feel like that introvertedness and that shyness, more than anything, that shyness of going up to people, that's where it gets me. Now, I can be approached. I'm very approachable, and I'm a conversationalist, and I'm very easy to approach, and uh, all these things. But if the world waited for me to approach them, no one would ever even know I exist. And I'm feeling that because I feel like no one know well, it ain't no I feel like. No one knows I exist. No one knows all this dopeness that is in me. And it reminds me of the scripture, no one lights a candle to put it under a table. And I was lit. I don't mean lit in like the slang term, but from the fact that God showed me who I am as a seer, as a young girl, 5 or 6 years old, I was lit up from a young age. And I do feel, and I work this out in myself. I work it out in myself all the time to combat it because I feel the difference in how long I was with my mother versus when I wasn't, being raised on love versus being raised on the struggle and the lack mentality. So I told him I feel like that little bit of confidence is being strangled by my shyness and introvertedness. And that's what I feel like. Um, that's what I feel like is holding me back. And what's crazy is I am confident, right? Like, but I would say 90%. But that 10% is major because that's the 10% that would go out there and just put myself out there. And that 10% is the portions of my confidence that can be a night and day change. So, with this month having such strong messages sent to me by way of human energy, I got to take massive action. And this month is going to be the month that I push myself to take massive action. I push myself outside of my comfort of being my own best friend and being my own best companion, you know? I'm too comfortable being with myself, and I need to be more comfortable being externally uncomfortable, right? Like I'm comfortable being uncomfortable within myself. That's why I'm constantly pushing myself to learn more, to grow more, and things like that within myself. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but it's just it's it's something that I feel like if I let if I ignore these messages, then it could be another decade before I get this message again. And so the timing is perfect. The timing in my life of other things that are going on is absolutely perfect. So, hey, still I ride. So, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. This month is starting off amazing. Happy new month to y'all. And, hopefully that will make sure y'all hit the like button. Hopefully that will encourage someone else. So, that's that. Next thing, I started working on this. I started working on this. I got all my little markings marked because let me tell you. So this of all the sweaters I've made, of all the tops I've made, I decided that I want to make this one in the round. So I started from the bottom, unlike Aubrey's lying ass. I started from the bottom with the waistband, and I worked my way up, doing it in the round. Okay, so now, so here's where we're at, right here, right. So now I need to make the armholes. So what I'm doing, this stitch marker right there, which is just yarn, and that stitch marker right there, that marks the halfway point. And then it's going to be a V-neck. So that's what that marker is for. So right now I'm working on the back. So I started off going in the round. So now I'm doing rows. So now I'm in the back. So I'm going to work this back and forth, work it up, and then I will fasten off once I get it high enough. Work it up, and then I'm going to come to the front. And this one, because I'm doing a V-neck, I'll work from this end to here, back and forth, work it up, fasten off, and then do the same thing here, right? So then once that's done, the two front sides and the back, I'll connect the shoulders, and then that connection of the back and the front will create a hole because I'm splitting it, right? So that's going to leave a gap. And then once I connect the two back and front at the shoulder, now I'll have this hole right here. So then I'll work the sleeve in the round. So it's going well so far. It's going well. And I really like this color combination. Yeah, that's it. I Y'all know I'm working with scrap yarn, right? I'm working with the scrap yarns that I have. So I don't know if I have enough yarn for a hood, but y'all know I'm trying to get a hood. I'm trying to get a hood. I'm trying to get a hood. So we'll see. We'll see if I have enough yarn to get a hood. Because I don't want to just throw in some other color. But we'll see. And I did, I made it, a little loose. See? You see the pattern? So I have enough of this yarn left for the cuffs. I should. And I did 5 rounds. I like doing the front post, back post ribbing. It looked awesome either way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it may not have a hood, but we'll see. I'm just using up the scraps that I have. And once I finish this, we'll see. So, okay, next thing, let's discuss this. Like I said, new month, new vision. So, let's discuss this with the Etsy shop. With the Etsy shop, I want to do some creative things, but there's no room in my van for anything. I definitely know. I wanted to start making jewelry, but I don't have space to put supplies I need. When I was in the Mercedes mansion, someone suggested that to me because I told them I used to make jewelry when I lived traditionally, and I was like, I don't have space. But here's the thing. All right, so let's flow with this. Still, all right, let's flow. So here's what I was looking at a YouTube video yesterday. I ended up stopping to watch this. It was a young woman who sells on Etsy, because this is another thing back from when I was in the Mercedes mansion that I was like, I can't just, I don't have anywhere to put, especially because I make jackets, right? I don't have anywhere to just stockpile jackets. Here's the thing. So, what I plan on doing that you could also do is on my Etsy, what I'm going to do is do drops, because the young woman mentioned that she knows someone who that's how they, because of what she makes, she doesn't mass produce them. This other woman, not the woman who was talking on the video, but she was saying this is how someone else does it. they do drops. So they'll make whatever it is they make, post it on Etsy. Once those sell out, they sell out, and she's not going to remake them. So then she'll do another drop. She'll make more of whatever she's making, post those, and do it like that. And so, especially with creating a new Etsy page, if that's how I establish myself, and if that's how I if that's how I set it up, even put in the bio, if that's how I set it up, and I really brand myself as that high end crochet designer that just makes drops, that just does drops, and you gotta get the shit while it's hot because of what I make, that I could do. I could have 3 jackets, you know what I mean? So, but I definitely know, because when I was in the Mercedes mansion, which was more narrow and just smaller altogether, if you know the Mercedes ML320, that was my previous home. And yeah, I didn't have space for anything. The only thing I had, and I had my passenger seat taken out, I had a pantry in there, and that could have worked, but I would have had to take, my pots and pans and my stove. I would have had to take everything out of there, or at least put a bin. I guess I could have made a way. This message is held for review. I don't think I want to review it. If YouTube held it for review, they know what they're doing. So yeah, I definitely get it. I get it for sure. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna give that a shot. And I really need to make sure that my copy, my wording, um, speaks to what I want. And I might use Chat GPT for that. Being honest, I might use the help of AI to get a really eloquent high end. Of course, I have to prompt it, right? So I'm gonna be specific about the words that I use when requesting this prompt for how I display it, because and then I'm also thinking about um, how I can take my pictures. Now, I quite possibly could. I did like when I had it hanging up, I put it on my hanger and I put it here, but my door was open. What I don't like, and then I closed it, but what I don't like is I don't have this here, this Reflectix. I don't have the back of it covered in fabric, so it doesn't look very pretty, you know. But I have a green screen. I have a green screen. So, oh, okay, okay. So I could put my green screen up. It's right here, and it's got the clips in here, and it also came with some rope. So I could put my green screen up and figure out how to use that. Figure out how to display whatever image on the back of that. Maybe that's how I could take my pictures and video to put on Etsy. But that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to price them for what they're, I'm going to price them accordingly. I'm not going to, I'm not going to price them, um, I'm not going to sell short. I'm not going to sell short. So, yeah, maybe see what you can, what you can bundle up with storage, or see what you can trade out with storage. I know how it goes. I definitely know. I know. Um, but maybe see what you can do. See what you can trade off. See what you can trade off. Or maybe if you have, I don't know what you live in. Is it a van? Maybe if you have, maybe you can implement some kind of storage. You know how all of my benches and everything is storage within? Maybe you can do something like that. I don't know. But I know living tiny, storage is tight. I do know that. But maybe we can brainstorm about it. Yeah, maybe there's a way we can brainstorm about it. And uh, maybe you can possibly minimize some of the things that you have to make space for something like that, especially since that is something that would be income producing. Maybe minimize the amount of clothes that you have to make space to share that space with some of your raw materials or something like that. I don't know, but we can definitely brainstorm about it because that's a great idea. That's a great idea. I decided to put a garden in here, so I gave up other things because it was important to grow food. Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. Because that right there, like, growing food brings. Have you had any harvest yet? Maybe you can start by selling. People used to ask me that all the time when I had my garden. But maybe you can, depending on what you have and how much you produce, sell a little bit of that on the side. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. I always have shit going on. I don't get bored because I'm always creating. I'm always creating something because that's my thing. My thing is really working on my digital income. But even like, but before this, I had my magazine. Yeah, but I definitely get you. I get you. But they're income producing, so it might be worth it to it might be worth it to see what you can do. I mean, I know you have a job, but still, income that you control is better than any job. That's for sure. That's for sure. Because although it starts off slow, depending on where your mindset is and what your goals are, it can grow and then even change. Like, this may not be a long term thing, but it could be something. You know, when I had my strawberries and just different things, I used to park by Aliso Beach in Laguna Beach, and because I had all my plants and everything sitting on the balcony of the mansion, and anytime I was parked anywhere and I had all my things out, people would constantly stop and ask me if I'm selling. Constantly. Are you selling? Are you selling? Even with just my plants. Are you selling? Constantly. Always. Yep. It might be a good hustle. It might be a good hustle. It just might be a good hustle. You know? If you can get it growing, even to sell some starts, right? Like, you get it growing. Um, let's say you have some kale, or some basil. Let's say you have some purple basil. I got some purple basil seeds. You have some purple basil. Get like 6 little containers, get them going, put them for sale, sell them. People will buy them. And I'm here in Orange County, and people was asking me both here in Newport Beach and Laguna Beach. Shit, because I just have them out on display. And one day and then I ain't even gonna go down that route. But it was two young little girls, not young, they was old enough to know better. I was inside of the mansion out there at Laguna Beach, and the two girls walked past, and the one devious one talking about we should take one, and her friend was like, no. So here I am from inside because they couldn't see me. I said, no, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. The fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I said, that's y'all problem. Y'all always want to take shit that ain't yours. But anyway, it's possible. It's possible. I hope you find a way. I hope you find a way to make it work because it would be worth it. Yeah. So this might end up being for sale. This just might end up being for sale. I know I said it. I know I said I was making it for me, but I just might end up selling it. Yeah, I just might. Sometimes with something like this, it just looks so marketable. The color scheme looks so marketable. I'm just like, I don't know. I think this is a selling item. I don't think this is one for me to keep. I think this is one to sell. I definitely think this is one to sell. Yeah. So I think I just might sell it. Ain't no might. Ain't no might. I already know I'm gonna sell it. I already know I'm going to. So that's that. That's that. I mean, I really like it, but I think I like it as an item for sale. Hey, Bruce, it's not gonna sell. Don't be sorry. It's not about what you say, it's about what I say. That's what people need to realize. It's I control what happens in my life, not you. Don't nobody care what, you know, because what you say negative to someone else, it only affects your life. It doesn't affect me. So don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, ho. Be careful. Be careful what you say. Be careful the ditches you wish people to fall in, because them gonna be the same ditches that get you. You need to read scripture. So anyway, yes, I think I'm gonna sell this. So right now, like I said, what I'm doing is doing rows, going back and forth. And see that right there, still I ride. Things like that is why I feel like you, me, we, people in general who have some type of idea, why we really need to put all of our energy and efforts into figuring out how we can make it happen. Because everything is just temporary, and nothing, nothing is going to ever be aligned so sweetly and smoothly to where you don't have to make sacrifices temporarily to make something else greater happen. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice to be comfortable and all like that and yada, yada, yada. But when it comes to doing something for yourself and doing something where you're putting your voice out into the marketplace, um, especially out into the marketplace for others to enjoy and take part in, it's worth the sacrifice. It's worth the sacrifice because it's only temporary. It's only temporary. It is only temporary because your perspective on whatever you make is going to be unique to the marketplace, unique to you. And there's going to be people out there that's looking just for that. But even that, it's not going to just be smooth, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it because there's people, like this that just for no reason wish people to fail, just for no reason at all, will just wish for people to fail. So it's our duty as creative human beings, and I don't mean creative by this, but I mean the fact that the mind of man is the mouth of God. So whatever you think and whatever you really, really believe, you can make it happen. Because there's people out there like Bruce that just for no reason, out of nowhere, that are just gonna wish we fail. So who cares? Who cares about that? I don't have a failure or a give up button, or I just don't have that in me. I don't have that in me. You can get in line with the people that are pissed that I haven't stopped yet, Bruce. You can get in line with the people that are like, how in the fuck does she just keep making shit happen? How did she get back up from that? How the fuck is she? How is she doing that? Baby, get in line. Get in line. So your force is not stronger than mine because my force is what affects my life, not yours. It's what I say about me that affects me. It's how I think about me that affects me, not you. However you feel isn't even my business. That's why I say you don't have to say sorry. It won't sell. Sorry. You don't have to be sorry. That's your opinion. Everybody got an asshole, but an asshole is more useful than your opinion. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to regurgitate your opinion, but your bowels have to move. Your bowels have to move, but your opinion doesn't have to be regurgitated out of your mouth. But your bowels absolutely have to move, which means your asshole is more valuable than your opinion. Your asshole, your actual butthole, is more uh 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 is more, what's the word, it just is more necessary than your opinion. But that same butthole on you is only valuable to you, and it's only necessary for you. Your butthole doesn't affect me. What you eat don't make me shit. So once again, you got to shit in your own toilet, not in mine. And I don't have to clean it. I don't have to clean up the shit that you put in your toilet. You do. So it has absolutely zero effect on me at all because I I can't see any value in anything you're going to say. I don't hear, let me put it like this. I don't hear the boos or the cheers. I don't get caught up in the boos or the cheers. I don't. I don't. I'm only focused on what's in my mind and what I think and how I feel about what I think and keeping my thoughts clear. I don't get caught up in the boos or the cheers. I say thank you to the cheers. I appreciate it, but I don't get caught up. They don't swell my head. They don't swell any part of me. You came on my life. I don't even know who you are. I wouldn't even know you existed if you didn't show up here. Why are you here? You came here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to fill you with a good word. You came here, Bruce. You took a wrong turn on YouTube. You took a wrong turn in these internet streets. Got to be more careful when you taking turns in these internet streets, making these lefts and rights and swerving, baby. Making you turn on up out of here. Making you turn on up out of here. We ain't gonna find you for crossing the double yellow line. Go ahead and get on up out of here. So anyway, where we at? Another thing I did, I used two different crochet hooks with this. I used a 6.5 and a 5 millimeter. So right now I'm still using the 6.5. So, and if you not, make sure y'all hit that like button. If you have not seen the um, jacket and the sweater, the sweater that I just finished is mine. That one's mine. That one's mine for sure. My little summer sweater. I love it. See that's I like stuff like that for me. That's just really kind of out there. But this is just like you could see this. You could see this in TJ Maxx or somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You could see this on the rack. The color scheme is just it's very marketable. You know what I mean? It's cute enough, creative enough. I gotta for this one I actually didn't sew over my yarns like I usually always do because of the stitch pattern that I did. So I have to I just tied them. So I'm gonna have to weave these in and then just cut them all off. But it looks good, y'all. It looks good. It looks good. I really like it. What I'm doing right now, I'm gonna bring the back up. I'm gonna bring the back up in this green and white right here. So this is the color that I'm using. This is cotton. So I'm gonna bring the back of the hoodie up, well, of the sweater, in that green and white. And I only have a little bit of blue left. So the front panels will probably be two different colors. One will be blue and the other side will be this cream right here. And then I have this for the sleeves. This is all I have. This is all I have for the sleeves. So I have another tan. It's and then like I said, I do have more of this, but this is for the cuffs. So I have I also have another well yeah, this is gonna be for the back. So I got another whole skein of this green and white here. And that's it. That's it. The rest I got pink, I have white, yeah, I have pink and white. So because yeah, I don't want to introduce a different color. I don't want to introduce a different color, so we'll see. I would have never known that you're working with scrap yarn. Everything looks so good. Thank you. Yeah, this is yeah, I haven't bought any new yarn. Um, but once I get uh yarn money, I do plan on buying more yarn. These not only that, but these are old. These are oh, these are old. I had look at this. This looks it's all smashed. It's all smashed. I mean, this is a fresh full skein, but you know, I'm just making it work. I'm just making it work with what I have. So since since it looks cohesive, I just want to keep it I just want to keep it like that. So this will be the next color that I introduce, like I said, and I'm hoping I can get the sleeves done with this, but we'll see. We will see. I may have to, I'm good at figuring things out. I'm an excellent problem solver. I'm good at figuring things out. So that's what I'll do. That is what I'll do. Figure it out. So right now I got to figure out how many rows up I need to go to get the back where it needs to be. You see that? I got to figure out how many rows up I need to go. Yeah. It was nice when I had my dress form, my mannequin stand. Um, that was nice. That was nice because I could put what I made on there, and I could see the proportions and everything for the things that weren't for me. So once I do this, this will be because look, now I'm back to saying I'm gonna sell my. But anyway, I don't want to go back and forth with that because I might sell it, I might keep it. I don't know. The orange jacket. Anyway, for sure, my cream jacket that I just finished. For sure, that one is for sale, and for sure, this is for sale. So, at the very minimum, I have these two pieces that I will be putting on Etsy. So, what I'm gonna do this evening or tomorrow is get my Etsy shop put together. I'm gonna get my Etsy shop put together, and I've also been thinking about this. So I have a crochet Instagram page, and it's called the Lefty Crocheter because I'm left-handed. So, but my brand name has always been like for my crochet. Has always been Creative Nomad. But I'm thinking because I really want to brand these and I really want to do the whole drop situation like what I was talking about on Etsy, and I'm going to price them accordingly. I'm thinking about going with my name. So I'm thinking about either Shalanda Elise or Makalo. The reason the reason I'm contemplating doing my last name is because when I got divorced, one of the things I said, but it doesn't mean I have to use that last name in business, but it's my last name, right? One of the things that I said is I'm gonna blow up his fucking last name. I'm gonna blow up his last name, and just make him sick with the success of me having his last name and knowing that you 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 don't have access to any of this. You don't have access to any of this. You know what I mean? So but I really love my name, my given name. I love my name. I love how it flows. Shalanda Elise. And to me, Shalanda Elise is an elegant name. Even to see it in print, it just looks elegant. So I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about just making this Etsy crochet page, store rather, just my name, my given name, Shalanda Elise. Okay, Tina Turner. Exactly. That's exactly. In this guy that I talked to earlier today, um, yeah, because when he first approached, he said I would do that if I wasn't married, and I said, yeah, I'm divorced, and so I wasn't gonna keep living a lifestyle that I didn't like. And I always think about that. And he said something. You didn't take everything. I said no. I said the only thing I wanted was my name. I made it easy. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't want anything. No alimony. I didn't want anything. I didn't even keep the fucking wedding ring, the photo album. I didn't keep anything. Nothing. I said I just wanted my name. But I told him when we were still happily married, well, when I was still happily a fool, I told him that if he ever decided to divorce me, I'm keeping my name. Because at 17, I wanted to change my name to an African name, and I wanted to give my kids African names. So when I got married and having an authentic, real African name, oh, I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go. So yeah, definitely. And I'm gonna blow it up. I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to. So and I'm definitely going to look into that whole real estate because that to me was definitely a message from God based on my frequency and my vibration. So if y'all look up in a year and your girl is a real estate agent, just know it didn't come from nowhere. Just know um, this seed was planted in Arizona in 2018, 2019. Yeah, the active seed, the studying and um, just learning from real estate agents online and different things that started in 2017. So just know because I see it. I see it for it's been a few years now. And then again, let's just bring it to the last 3 months. I see it so vividly. I see it so vividly. I even see how I'm gonna be dressing. Cause no, I'm so over heels and all that shit. But it's gonna be me bringing my own style. Like I see it. Even when I was talking to my girl Frenika about it, and I was like, if you do it, I do it. We can, do this together. I I see it. I see me with different clients. Like I even see me asking them certain questions. How are you going to use the home? How are you going to live in the home? What are you, just see, I see it. I, I feel it. I smell it. You know what I mean? I smell some of the properties that I'm showing them. I see, I'm overlooking some of these fucking views of these multi-million dollar homes. And it's so ironic that he said everything he said. And when he said, don't, because I'm like, sometimes you can just think you just tripping, or maybe it's just me. But when he said, don't even bother with the $300,000 homes and this and that and this and that, he was like, go straight to the $1 million homes, go straight to the $3 million homes and this and that and this and that. And I was just like, this is definitely a message from God. I don't even know where he came from. I don't even know where. I'm sitting here, I'm crocheting, listening to an audiobook. uh, uh, I think I had just switched from the audiobook And I think I was watching, yes, I had just, like, literally just switched from the audiobook. I paused it and then went back to it, but I was watching some hip hop shit. And he just came pleasant, and I'm always pleasant. I don't mind people, like, I'm sitting here with my doors wide open. And here we end up in this good 45-minute conversation. Yeah, very dope. Very dope. So, anyway, anyway, the energy of this month already, the vibration of this month already is just telling me, is just, it's telling me a lot. So, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm taking heed and I'm paying attention. So, when I finish this sweater right here, I will um, get it prepared to go on Etsy. I'm gonna get it blocked. I gotta get it blocked and get it put on Etsy. And I'm just going to let them do their thing there. Shit, you know what? Yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that because I need to see how how I can set it up. But anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited for this third quarter that we're in. You know what I mean? Or what is this? The middle of the second quarter? I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, no, third quarter, right? I'm excited. There's a lot. It's one thing I know is it doesn't bother me, but the reality is change is scary. I just I like change. I don't know if it's the Libra in me or the Libra of me because I'm all Libra. Uh, but I love change. I love change, and I'm always pushing myself towards change because I like it so much. I Because to me that's the only consistency. Change is the only consistency. You change is guaranteed. You can count on change, and I like that. I like that. I like the fact that you can count on things changing. That's why I say it's all temporary. It's all temporary. And I like that. Whether it's the highs and the lows. But the thing about it, when you're high, when everything is when everything is flowing and going sweet, that is the time to prepare because it's gonna get low. The tide is gonna go out. You have to prepare and be ready for it, for whenever, just not, change for me, especially the people from the Mercedes Mansion that have followed me for a long time, have seen me through a lot of different changes, and my tone doesn't change. My demeanor doesn't change because for me, that is consistent. Nothing is going to stay high forever. And like scriptures say, look to the ant. The ant is constantly working in preparation. They don't play around in the summertime because no, winter is coming. Winter is coming. So we need to prepare. We need to prepare for this because we don't know. There's so much that we don't know. So all I can do is control what I can control. And then by doing that, all that happens outside of my control, I still am in control because I can control how I react. I can control my perspective of the things that I can't control happening in my experience. So, my daughter called me a control freak, and I don't think there's anything freaky about or freakish about being in control. I don't have any interest in controlling other people. I didn't have any interest in controlling them because I can't. You know what I mean? I knew I couldn't control no damn teenagers. I don't have interest in that. I don't have any interest in that. I don't have any interest in controlling anyone. outside of me. None at all. But I do like being in control. I believe there's mastery in controlling what I can control, which is my mind. I can control my thoughts. So if a negative thought come in, I'm not just going to let it bombard my mind. No, I'm going to get you out of here because I can control getting you out of here. I couldn't control you just popping in my head, but oh, you about to pop right out of this motherfucker because that I can control. You just intruded on me thinking and creating with this negativity of some shit that I didn't experienced 15 years in the past. No, you're not a no, you don't get to just come in here and chill. I can control that. So I do. I do. And I don't let it bother me. I'm not fucked up by thoughts that pop into my head because I immediately get them out. Immediately. Like, I don't even have time to sit here and be fucked up about it because, for one, there's nothing that I'm unhealed from. So you don't get to just come in here and chill and linger. You don't get to do that. And then I don't experience any levels of anxiety because why project? Why project on what could happen and oh tomorrow? I don't understand that energy. I don't even understand that energy. I'm present. I'm present at all moments. So I'm right here. I'm not in tomorrow of whatever could happen and oh my God, no. So that's a part of me controlling the controllables. I don't create negative scenarios in my head for myself or for other people. You're not ever going to see me or hear me talking about or typing something negative for something else. I don't use my mind in that type of creative way. I'm not about to create this drastic scenario of negativity in my life. So I'm damn sure not going to do it in someone else's life. No, no. But what I do is will imagine the best scenario that I can think of based on what I know for someone else's scenario. That's what I do in real life. And because most people aren't don't allow themselves to be imaginative on the positives of what could happen, they just rely on whatever they've experienced, whatever negativity they've experienced, and they just create from that place of scarcity and fear. So it's difficult in my experience of talking to people and counseling people. It's been difficult for them to um, relate or to grasp on to what I'm saying in their life because that hasn't been their experience. But that's what I do. I can imagine. I can imagine. I can share a story right now of the most amazing possibilities of if you were to start making jewelry. I can do that, but I can't come up with a story of the worst case scenario. Like, I mentally cannot do that because even as I think, like, I won't even allow myself, and I'm just being dead ass. I cannot do that, but I can absolutely, as far as you want, as big as you want it to be, I can create that story right here, right now, on the possibilities of what could be should you decide to do that. I can do that absolutely. I can encourage you to make that step, to make those moves. I can do that. But anything on the negative, it's it's not even in me. That's not even in me. So I definitely don't do it for myself, you know? And to me that's life. That's life. So in this new month, all I see all I see are the possibilities. And with these two entities of energy, and I'm pointing this way because Last night I was talking to Femi on this side of my door, and this morning I was talking to Jimmy on this side of my door. So with these two entities right here, the first and second day of the month, it's, to me, that's letting me know from all sides that it is a go. It is a go, and everything in the universe is going to work to help me. Everything, everything is aligned as long as I take action. Everything is aligned to help me. Everything is aligned. Everything in the way will be moved out of the way. Every closed door will be open as I come to it. So that's that's what that was. That's exactly what that was. That's what that is. And it's exciting. It is exciting because I see the growth, and what I see isn't even what it's going to be. Just like when I was in the Mercedes mansion and it was down, I remember saying on my story one day, the elation that I'm going to feel when I get into whatever my next home is going to be, I can't even imagine. And when I got this, when I got in here, it was just that. I even recalled that moment on my stories, and I was just like, this is, God is amazing, because in reality, what I'm feeling is greater than what I imagined sitting over there at the back bay in the mansion, half ass running, leaking oil from everywhere. So I can visualize the growth that I'm going to have on the other side of this. I see me already. I see already the me 7, 8 months, 9 months from now. But the reality when I get there of the me, what I'm seeing is just 1% of what it's actually going to be. What I'm seeing sitting here right now, August 2nd, 2024. It's only 1% of what it's actually going to be 9 months from now. And that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. So, no time to waste. No time. No time to second guess. It's just, I'm just going to be taking action. And it's perfect because now I have money to do my laundry, which is a necessity. That'll be happening tomorrow. I have money to do my laundry. I'll probably get another pair of pants. Um, I have money to get a little bit of gas because I'm going to have to go back to LA. So grateful isn't even the word. And then I should, God willing, I'll be getting paid out this month. Will have, I'm hoping, I'm hoping I will have met my threshold for this month and I'll get paid out. Um, oh, you know what? You know what? I don't think I will. I don't think I will because I didn't meet it last month. I'm still not there yet. And I think the 12th is the cutoff. So I might not get paid from YouTube until September. I got paid in June and I might not get paid again until September. So, you know, it is what it is. But we'll see. We'll see. So until then, it's still, I'm still just moving forward. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And I think California would be a great, great place because a lot of people, and even Texas, but a lot of people with real wealth here are here. Like they're maybe they have all of their things set up to where they aren't so heavily affected by the high taxes here. You know what I mean? Maybe they have their trust and their foundations, all the things set up to where they're not paying taxes at all. You know what I mean? Legally, like you can legally do that. Have things, have all of your entities set up, and all these different things to where you legally aren't paying any federal taxes, any taxes. So anyway, I'm just I'm just I'm just talking, but the energy is there. So the energy is there. Anyway, I should probably give myself something to eat because I haven't had my first meal today. So thank you guys for tuning in on this Friday Night Live. Stay tuned to see how this turns out over the course of the upcoming week. Again, check the description. All the links to everything is in the description. Order your journal. If you've ordered a journal, thank you. I appreciate you so much. If you've ordered a journal but have not left a review, head over to Amazon. Leave your girl a review on the journal that you purchased. I would love it. And I'll see you guys in the comments and on my next video. Peace. Happy Friday. Happy new month.